Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another webinar with Krish. I can see on the screen with me Anila, Johar, Kukreja, Ranjita, Anita, Sharma, and Saeed. Welcome to the webinar once again, guys. If you're able to hear me and see me, could you use Q&A section and type yes? I repeat, could you use Q&A section and type yes? Thank you. I can see thumbs up as well. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Ranjita. So before we start, we still have 2 minutes to go. We're going to wait for other members of the community, teaching community, to join us, and then we'll get started. Thank you very much. If you're able to see my screen, please let me know with the thumbs up as well. Are you guys able to see my screen? Thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let's wait for a minute or two, and then we'll get started. Right now, we have 6 teachers online with us. We'll get started soon. We can see Banerjee as well. Levano Banerjee. So a very good evening once again. It is 8:30 in India, I suppose. It is 4 o'clock for me where I am. Welcome once again to this wonderful webinar. I am super excited to start yet another webinar with all of you guys. My name is Krishna Triya, and welcome to ESOL. How are you all today? You can let me know in the Q&A section. Hi, Akash. Good to see you again, man. Ranjita, great, lovely. How about other people? How is the weather in the city? All floods and rain, or is it really hot? Feel free to use the Q&A section. Anita says, a rainy day. All right. I see. Very hot where I am. All right. Thank you. So welcome to this very important webinar today. As you can see, the title is not right. It's a misspelled title. Just give me one moment. Let me correct that for you. So it's a very important webinar with a very interesting title. Don't worry if you looked at the title and if you felt, what? I did not sign up for this one. So here is the corrected title for you. Can you see the correct title now? Hot and humid, Sharma says. Hi, very good evening, Cochrane. Good evening, guys. Good to see you all. I hope you can see the correct title now. If you can, please show me a thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you. So the title is Teaching Pronunciation Beyond Listen and Repeat for VNA and ESL trainers. This is going to be a very, very interesting session because teaching is not an easy game. You need to have your own phonology right, enunciation right, diction right to be able to guide somebody. And that confidence is very important. Most importantly, that years of practice is very important as well. So I take this job very, very seriously today as I go on to work with you guys on this very important webinar. As you can see, it is for 45 minutes. We'll try keeping it 45, 50 minutes. However, if it does extend a little bit, please bear with me because we're not going to be rushing into it. That's not the purpose of this webinar, to rush into it and finish the activities. We want to make sure that we have a good and productive time. So sit back, relax. We're going to participate in a lot of activities together today. There are 5 things that we will cover in this webinar. The first thing is the historical context of teaching pronunciation. The next thing we're going to be looking at is important principles that we should keep in mind, especially when teaching pronunciation. Number 3, we'll play a very interactive game. It's called phonological rule discovery. Phonological rule discovery. And then we're going to be looking at technology in what are the different kinds of technology that have come up in the market and that teachers use as well, predominantly when teaching pronunciation. We're also going to be looking at some Q&As like we always do with you guys towards the end of the session. Yep. So let's get started. Which part are you really looking forward to? Which part from the aims are you really looking forward to seeing? You can let me know in the chat box. History. Okay. And what about other people? Anita and Urmila says 2 and 3. Okay. Sharma, technology. Sagar says phonological. I don't know what's wrong with me and with the pronunciation of this word today. Phonological. All right. Cool. Perfect. So let's get started. Before we start, there are colleagues from the industry that already know about me, but nonetheless, quickly, for the new audience, for the new teachers in the room with us, my name is Krishna Triya, and I've been working as a linguist for the last 15 years. I have been teaching in many countries: Poland, India, Germany, England, and a little bit in Canada. And it's good to be a part of the teaching community where colleagues can interact and sort of conflate ideas to make education better. Currently, I live in London, and I recently completed an MBA and an ongoing PhD at City University of London. And let's get started. Thank you. So the first thing that we're going to be looking at in this chapter today is very interesting, is an activity called traditional approach to teaching pronunciation. I repeat, traditional approach to teaching pronunciation. But before we do any of this, I'd like you to please think about for 1 minute and tell me, in your opinion, what is the definition of pronunciation? I repeat, what is pronunciation for you? Can you take 1 minute to let us know in the chat box, please? Isha, it is a pleasure to see you once again. God bless, and I hope you're shining in your career. Isha has been a long, long student. All right, so over to you guys. 1 minute. What do you think is the definition of pronunciation? In your words, don't use GPT, don't use the internet. What is pronunciation for you? 1 minute starts now. Thank you. Anita says, how one speaks the words. That's wonderful. Thank you, Anita. Banerjee says, ways to speak a word. Fantastic. Sagar says, it's just the way words are said in a certain language. Perfect. Urmila says, it means correct way of speaking out a word, which is understood in general by all. Lovely. What about so many other teachers in the room with us? Shane Baga, Jeremy, Shiba, Rani, Sojanya. What about you guys? What do you feel? Metrey. I'd love to know what all do you guys think. Okay, I'm so impressed. My God. Sharma says, way of speaking words correctly and with clarity. Ranjita says, speaking following the phonics. Can I clap? Can we all clap for Ranjita, please? And for everybody as well. But Ranjita has said a very interesting point. Isha says, the way in which a particular word or sound is pronounced. Very good, Isha. Fantastic. When I say Isha, I mean Kukreja because I know Isha. Akash says every sound should get the justification inside the word with perfect articulatory system integration. My God, what a PhD level definition. Shenbaga says it is about where we have to give stress in the word. Lovely. Can we take a moment to clap for everybody? Amazing, guys. Super. Excellent. All of y'all are right. Pronunciation is everything that you guys have said. I 100% agree with you. Pronunciation is one word that is often misunderstood with accent. Yes or no? People think when we're talking about pronunciation, we mean some fake British or American accent. But it is not that. It is much deeper than that. I wish today's session was all about phonics, but it is not. Today's session is all about what to keep in mind when you're teaching pronunciation. So pronunciation is nothing. By the way, we're talking in context of English language. So pronunciation is nothing but the enunciation of phonics. Of course, correct enunciation. Enunciation means the way you utter it, the utterance of sound. Of phonics. What are phonics? What are phonemes? Does anybody know in the chat box? Phoneme. What's a phoneme? Sound. And if you do not know, that's all right. Phonics means single sound of English. It's actually called a phoneme, but together as a concept, we call it phonics. All right, lovely. So enunciation of phonics with clarity. And how many sounds are there in English, by the way? I was going to ask you this question later, but let me just ask you right now. How many sounds are there in English? Does anybody know? I asked this question in the morning and Akash answered that time too. What about other people? Thank you, Levano, Sagar, Urmila, Ranjita, Akash. I agree with you. In English, there are 44 sounds in English. I repeat, there are 44 sounds in English. I agree with you guys. So, pronunciation is all about pronouncing these 44 phonics with clarity. I mean, whichever word these phonics fall in. But it's not that easy. I've seen a lot of teachers, facilitators in my career who have a very good knowledge of phonics and the phonemic chart, but they're not able to translate that knowledge. And most importantly, they're not able to use it themselves as well. And that sometimes takes years of practice because first you have to teach the movement of mouth or the movement of the jaw. That's number one. That's called manner of articulation. I repeat, that's called manner of articulation. Number two, you have to teach where to put the tongue in the mouth. That's called place of articulation. So these words are very important when it comes to teaching pronunciation. Listen again. Uh, the first one is called manner of articulation, and the other one is called place of articulation. And this workshop or this webinar is nothing related to manner of articulation, place of articulation, or 44 phonics in English. It's a complete course in itself. This workshop is to give you insights on all of these matters. Historical context, key principles, a game on phonological rule discovery. I don't know, there's something wrong with my tongue today. And technology in pronunciation teaching. So this is what we're going to be talking about in this session today. Before we move on, let's have a look at the traditional approach to teaching pronunciation. I've written 3 sentences and there's a blank space. Can you see there's a blank space here, here, and here? I'll give you 1 minute. Please take 1 minute. Can you fill in the blank spaces with a word that comes to your mind, an appropriate, educated guess, a word that comes to your mind? Please take 1 to 2 minutes and then we'll discuss it together. Thank you. When you're ready, please feel free to put the answers in the chat box. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Let's have a look at it. Historically, pronunciation teaching often relied heavily on traditional methods, Shiba says. Kukreja says direct methods. Yes, the correct answer is on listen and repeat method. I repeat, traditionally, teaching pronunciation has always been about listen to me and repeat. I repeat, listen and repeat. On the other hand, this approach was practically particularly prominent during the era of, does anybody know? During the era of learning. No. Any guesses? What is the answer? During the era of. British. Quite close, actually, Anita. Behaviorism. Interesting. During audiolingualism. Now, does anybody know what is the meaning of audiolingualism? It's actually related to World War, if you guys know anything about it. So I repeat, the approach was particularly prominent during the era of audiolingualism. So my question is, what is the meaning of audiolingualism? In the chat box. If you do not know, you can say no idea. That's fine as well. I'll get some idea. Sorry, I don't see any responses. Learning and repeating something. Thank you. No idea, no problem. So audiolingualism was a method of teaching English and pronunciation during the Second World War, especially Germans, soldiers that were traveling to Germany, and I studied it during my teacher training programs. Soldiers from all around the world were going to Germany. So Germany started using audiolingual method. Audiolingual method means you ask people to listen and repeat. Listen and repeat. That's called audiolingual method. Lately, in the research papers in the gone by decades, audiolingual method started being called audiolingualism. So earlier, English was taught using grammar translation method, flopped. Later, people started teaching English using audiolingualism, flopped again. And then finally, we came to communicative language teaching, CLT, which is the most modern form of teaching a language through an app or, for that matter, ESL classes, etc. But what we are trying to teach here, what we are trying to learn here is that traditional method was all dependent on audiolingualism. So it typically involved mechanical drilling of isolated sounds, words, and sentence. You must have seen in gone by decades, if your teachers, if you ever learned English as a second language, a foreign language, your teachers would teach you pronunciation by asking you to listen and repeat. If that's true for you, please show me a thumbs up. It has happened with me. Has it happened with you? Listen and repeat. Just one thumbs up. Okay, another one. But teaching English is much more than that. So it's not just listen and repeat. It's much more than that. And this is what we're going to be looking at. Before we move ahead, I want to show you a timeline. I repeat, before we move ahead, I want to show you a timeline. Here we go. Please have a look. So let's see this timeline and understand the shift that is taking place towards communicative approach. Sorry, I'm talking a lot because I want to give you a background context before we started understanding what we are talking about. So have a look at this. The traditional approach versus suprasegmental features. Wow, this is a very interesting word. What is the meaning of suprasegmental features? Does anybody know what is the meaning of suprasegmental features? In the chat box? Thank you, Urmila. Breaking the words and teaching. Lovely. No problem, Shiba. What about other people? So the most important thing that we are learning today in this webinar is what are suprasegmental features? This is what we're going to be looking at now. So hold on for a moment. Suprasegmental features basically refer to intonation, stress, and rhythm. I repeat, suprasegmental features refer to intonation of a word, stress of a word, rhythm of a sentence, word, sentence, or speech for that matter. Okay. So what do we understand about the shift? So earlier in the traditional methods, what used to happen was the focus was on perfect accent. That means if anybody would talk about pronunciation, in India, we've heard a lot, Angrezi jhad raha hai, ya fir apni accent maar raha hai, and all of that. So the idea here is that that people used to focus a lot more on accent, especially during, IELTS exam. I was an examiner during the year 2016 and 17. I used to travel to Ludhiana and Jalandhar quite a lot. So Dehradun, all of these places. So what I'm trying to say here is that people would focus a lot more on, what do you say? People would actually focus a lot more on um, faking an accent rather than knowing the correct sound of a word. And the correct sound of a word is very, very important. And that is why Ajkal elementary schools in India, etc., and for that matter, not only elementary schools, but master's programs. Uh, Last month, we had a lady, she did, what do you call it? A voice and accent train the trainer program. In the voice and accent train the trainer program, she was a professor at a university in Bangalore, and she said that that government of India has made it mandatory to study phonology even at master's level. So she was a mechanical engineering teacher, professor, but she was given the responsibility to teach. Her name was Soumya. She was given the responsibility to teach phonology. That is the importance of teaching pronunciation in our country today. So, what do we understand? What the hell is it all about? It's not about faking an accent, it's about knowing the correct sound of a word. And that's a complete course in itself. That's called voice and accent course, depending on the providers. Some people call it accent reduction program, etc. You can also teach yourself the same thing at home as well, but guided practice always helps. So anyway, there's been a lot of focus on perfect accent using traditional approach, but bad. This is not right. We have to focus on something new, something interesting. What do you think I've hidden in this box? Does anybody know? The focus is not on perfect accent. So what is the focus on? Can you tell me in the chat box? If the focus is not on perfect accent, so what is the focus on? Nachiar says stress intonation. Urmila perfect pronunciation. Ranjita sound. Sharma perfect sound. Anita sounds of the word. Shiba perfect pronunciation. Thank you so much, guys. Can we clap for everybody? You guys are doing a great job. Superb. The focus is on this. Have a look. Developing clear and comprehensible speech. Do you have a celebrity crush who you think speaks immaculate pronunciation in India? I repeat, do you have a celebrity crush who you think speaks immaculate pronunciation in India? In the chat box. Sudhamurthy, you think her pronunciation is immaculate? Priyanka Chopra. Oh, many people are saying Priyanka Chopra. Okay. Can I tell you a little secret? Rumor has it that the Prime Minister of India also took accent reduction classes. I repeat, rumor has it that Prime Minister of India also took pronunciation, accent reduction classes because he used to find it quite difficult and challenging to enunciate words, especially in English, post his visit to the UK during his first term. There was once a time, although this is a bit of a secret information, but let me tell you, there was once a time when not Suniti Chauhan, what is the name of this woman? The other lady that comes in Indian Idol. Who's the Indian Idol judge? that girl, that singer that comes, who sang in the Ambani wed, Shreya Ghoshal. Yes. So uh, 3 years ago, Shreya Ghoshal approached the team at ESOL for voice and accent training 3 years ago. Not a lot of people know that. Her manager, she did not approach. Of course, her manager approached for voice and accent training. And that was quite interesting. So an important thing to recognize here is that the world understands the importance of pronouncing the words correctly, especially people in the public domain. And it's not only for people in the public eye, it's for all of us as well to understand how to pronounce the words clearly. Sharma says, not a crush though. I find Ratna Pathak Shah very fluent with it. Thank you. I'm afraid I do not know who this person is. I'd love to watch some interviews of the person. The idea here is when you have somebody who's an ideal for you and who speaks very good English, try to focus on how they pronounce the words correctly and try to focus and use the language they use in context, sort of mimicking them, because it really helps in enunciating the words better. It's not the best method, but it's one of the entertaining ways of, interesting ways of working on your diction. Thank you. So here we go. Please have a look. So today, as we move from the left-hand side, traditional approach, we don't want to focus on perfect accent. We want to rather focus on developing clear, comprehensible speech that people are able to understand. I was reading an article, and in that article, it said that today, standard pronunciation is not, I mean, I think that was related. I think we had discussed it in one of the webinars before as well. It was related to grammar. Today, correct grammar is not what is written in the books, is what is spoken by the majority of the population. But it's not the case with accent, though, I'm afraid. It has to be understood, which is a standard across the world, in order to have the right, in order to be understood properly. So this is what we're going to be looking at now. There are two words that I will show you: segmental, suprasegmental. I hope you can hear me properly. If you're able to hear me, please show me a thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, here we go. So I have two words on the screen for you. These words are segmental features and suprasegmental features. I'm going to show you the pronunciation of each one of these. Can you tell me which one is segmental and which one is suprasegmental? Just an educated guess. Hi, Gagandeep. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat box. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Sagar, and everybody else. Segmental features are the individual sounds, like Sagar told us in the chat box. On the other hand, suprasegmental features are the effect that larger units of speech. What is the meaning of larger units of speech? We mean the words, the sentences, have, especially with the use of syllables, etc., especially with the use of not the use as a result of rhythm, melody, and overflow. So just to break it really simply, individual sounds are called segmental features. For example, ma, b, k, t, p. All of these are called segmental features. On the other hand, rhythm, melody, intonation, stress, pitch, these are called suprasegmental features. If you understand this, show me a thumbs up. If you want me to repeat, show me a peace sign. Cool. I repeat. Okay, just to be on the safer side, I repeat. Individual sounds of English are called segmental features, like many of you mentioned in the chat box. Thank you very much. And suprasegmental features are the rhythm, pitch, intonation, stress. It can be word stress, sentence stress, etc. They're called suprasegmental features of English. I hope this is clear. We're now going to play a very interesting game. I have 15 features on the screen here. Please have a look at these features and tell me, is this segmental or is this suprasegmental? I repeat, is this segmental or suprasegmental? Let's do number one together. This theta here is a very difficult sound in English, for especially many Indian brothers and sisters. We pronounce it as soft th, like. I don't have a paper with me, otherwise I would show you. If you put your hand in front of your mouth like this, everybody, please do this. Take your hand and put it in front of your mouth like this. And if you feel the air on your mouth, take the tongue out, put it between the lips, between the teeth, and just exhale the air out. You should feel the air. That's called the theta sound or the th sound. So this is segmental or suprasegmental? Segmental, yeah. So for segmental, please write S, and for suprasegmental, write P. We have a total of under 5 minutes for this. I'll give you some time. Let's get started, and then we'll discuss the answers together. If you understand the game, show me a thumbs up. Please show me a thumbs up if you understand the game. Thank you. For suprasegmental, you have to write just P. Thank you. Many people are done. Thank you. Take your time. There's no rush. Thank you. I think many people are done. Let's just check the answers. Thank you very, very much. All right, let's check it together. What is 2? 2 is suprasegmental. Thank you. 3 is segmental. Intonation, number 4, is apparently suprasegmental. R is segmental. Word stress is suprasegmental. The distinction between the sounds b and v, we got a lot of brothers and sisters who've got a problem with b and v in India, and they call it ban, van. They've got a lot of problem with that. Rhythm is apparently suprasegmental as well. Sorry, this is S. This is suprasegmental again. Number 8, the sound. Number 9 is called, it's a strange sound. It comes from the nostrils. In the word sing or pink is again segmental. Linking words, very important, is suprasegmental. It's a very important feature. Difference between the sounds s and sh, sut up or shut up, is segmental. Pitch variation is suprasegmental. The a sound in cat is segmental. Pausing and phrasing in speech. What have you guys put in number 14? Let me see. Oops, sorry. Yeah, everybody's No. Some people, mixed answers, yeah? Urmila, I'm just going to answer your question. Number 14th, ladies and gentlemen, pausing and phrasing in speech is suprasegmental. Anything that is not a sound is suprasegmental. Okay? And the difference between, we've been doing this since from the top, is segmental. Thank you. Let me just look at the questions in the chat box. Uh, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm just going to answer Urmila's question very quickly. Is it a good idea to teach phonics to kids from nursery? You'll be surprised to know, Urmila. In Montessori education, students, kids, when they're 9 months old, they are read books. There's 1 hour daily, somebody comes at home and the person only, or parents for that matter, they only read books to a 7-month-old or a 9-month-old. So phonics, and that's called Montessori education. It's a proven method of training kids from a very young age. But yes, some people may agree or disagree with this. When it comes to teaching nursery kids phonics, I mean, there's a different method apparently because they are very, very young kids. There's a method to follow, but with them, you'd see a lot of workshops in market even today catering to only nursery kids. And they actually, summer school programs are also run by a lot of language schools that teach jolly phonics. So that is quite common these days. Yes. Thank you, Gagandeep, for this question. If there are any questions related to any of the courses, feel free to ask towards the end, guys. But just to quickly answer your question, let me know which course are you talking about, though. Sorry, because I'm a little bit confused. If you're talking about voice and accent is only meant for trainers who want to be corporate trainers or VNA trainers who want to go to companies like Hitachi, HCL, or for that matter, Accenture in cities across India, and basically help people there pronounce words better, especially when they're talking on phone. So yeah, that's one of the options that teachers sort of get into after completing that course. Pausing and phrasing are about how we break speech into chunks, which helps make what we say easier to understand and makes. Thank you, Sagar. Lovely, super, Urmila. Lovely, good to know. So let's quickly move ahead. So, भाई लोग सबको समझ में आया? What is segmental and suprasegmental? If you understood, please show me a peace sign. Thumbs up. Where's the peace? Hello, everybody. Okay, cool, lovely. Thank you. So this is segmental and suprasegmental. But why the hell are we discussing all of this? How is it even related to today's session? When you understand what is segmental and suprasegmental, you're able to divide your course accordingly. You're able to divide your course in two important parts. It's not only important to teach students sounds of English, but it's supremely important to focus the lesson on suprasegmental features as well. That means how all of that is pronounced in daily life. So it is not only about segmental features of pronouncing, because in Jolly Phonics courses, teachers predominantly focus only on the sounds of English, but they also have to focus on how these sounds come together to form intonation, rhythm, stress, pitch, etc. in a normal sentence when we speak English or use English. If you're confused about it, we're going to be playing a very interesting game today in the next 10 minutes, so don't worry about it. What is the key lesson from here? The key lesson from here is this. Have a look. Focus not just on pronouncing individual sounds correctly. I repeat, focus not just on pronouncing individual sounds correctly, but also on sentence stress and intonation patterns. If you've seen these two women, they have phenomenal communication skills. Aishwarya Rai and what do you call it? Sushmita Sen. Their intonation and stage delivery in English is regarded as one of the best in the country. The tehrav with which they speak, the sorry about my internet. I think I lost the internet for a bit. If you're able to hear me, please let me know. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So getting back, so we were talking about the enunciation and delivery of celebrities. It's very important to see how it's not only about speaking, but also speaking with correct individual sounds with the right sentence stress and intonation pattern. Now, there are various different kinds of intonation: falling intonation, rising intonation, flat intonation. This workshop, this webinar is not about that, but keeping in mind with which intonation do you speak is very important. For example, same sentence can have multiple meanings. For example, my name is Krish. My name is Krish. My name is Krish. My name is Krish. So in all the four sentences that you saw, the focus was on my, then name, then is, and then Krish. So a small change in intonation can change the meaning of the entire sentence as well. And that's very, very important. So it's very important to keep that in mind. Anyway, so this is a key lesson today. So we understood today what are segmental and suprasegmental features. And as a trainer, if you're teaching voice and accent to your students, it's important to divide the course in two parts. First, the segmental features, and do not finish the course without teaching suprasegmental features because it is supremely important. If you've understood this, please show me a big thumbs up. Hi, Afra. Afra, thank you for this question. What is the best course, TEFL or Montessori? They're very, very different courses, Afra. TEFL or TESOL is all about teaching adults, and Montessori is for kids, actually. It's not a teacher training program, but it is for very young learners. Yeah, we also call them starters. Thank you. I hope it answers the question. Okay, so this particular webinar is not quite long, unlike other webinars that we've spent. So before we end this webinar today, I would like to draw your attention to something very, very important. Please have a look. Let's play a game. So if you guys are ready, please clear your throat. I repeat, please clear your throat. Because you have to listen and repeat. And I know that this workshop, that this webinar is titled How Not to Listen and Repeat, Move Beyond This Teaching Method. But I want to show you something very interesting today. I'm going to pronounce each word in two different pronunciations. And I have guiding questions for you. Listen carefully. I'm going to do not read the words, just listen to me, please. I have two guiding questions for you that I'm not going to show you right now. Using that guiding question, you have to do this task. They're both hidden right now. First, listen to the pronunciation and then repeat after me, please. Or you can just simply listen. You don't have to repeat. This game is called phonological rule discovery. Phonological rule discovery. Here we go. Record, record. Record, record. If you have understood the difference, show me a peace sign. If you want me to repeat, show me a thumbs up. Okay, I'll repeat. Record, record. One last time. Record, record. Number 2, conduct, conduct. Conduct, conduct. If you have understood the difference, show me a peace sign or show me a thumbs up if you want me to repeat. Conduct, conduct, conduct. Okay, understood. Next one. This one's my favorite. How do lawyers speak English? Object, my lord. Or do they say, object, my lord? What is right English? Can anybody tell me in the chat box? Let's see. Everybody, what is it? Is it object, my lord? Or is it object, my lord? Two people who have answered. I'm waiting for other people. Shiba, Sharma, Sagar, Gagandeep. Sorry, I did not understand what you said there. Okay. Okay, good, good, good. Yes, all of y'all are right. Very good. Absolutely. So the lawyer should not say, object, my lord. लेकिन ऐसा ही होता है ना, ऐसे ही बोलते हैं वो films में, object, my lord. Not in all films. I'm sure people now know the correct pronunciation, but पहले ऐसा होता था. They used to speak like this, object, my lord. It's not object, it's object, my lord. Because it is, I have an objection. Object means this is an object. Yeah. Thank you. If you've understood the meaning, show me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you haven't. Okay, cool. Thank you. So this is object and this is object. Keep repeating after me if you like. This is permit, permit. This is permit, permit. First one में हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? We are stressing the first part. Permit. Repeat after me. Permit. And this one is, sorry, this is a webinar format. If we were in a real classroom, I would know what you're saying. I would correct, but apologies about that. This one is permit. This is permit. This is permit. If you've understood what we are doing here, just show me a quick thumbs up and then I'll show you guiding questions. You have to answer 2 questions in the chat box. Okay, so the questions that I have are here. What do you notice about the stress in these word pairs? And how does the stress change between the noun and the verb? Can you answer these 2 questions in the chat box? There's no rush. Take your time and don't answer it and don't break it, please. Yeah, Sagar, you're right. Content. Uh, please answer it together, both the sentences. Thank you. Thank you. In noun, it's in the beginning. In verb, stress is at the end. Okay. When we stress on the first part, it is noun. And when we stress on the second part, it is verb. Thank you, Shiba. Thank you, Gagandeep. Urmila says, in all the words in noun, first part is stressed. And in verb, last part of the word is stressed. Okay. Sharma says, the stress shifts from one syllable to the other with a change in the usage of the word. The stress moves from first to the second syllable when we change from noun to verb. Okay, thank you. And then the meaning changes in noun, stress on the first part and verb in the second part. The stress is on, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Everybody's right. Clappings for everyone. Lovely. You are 100% right. Using this, if you have to formulate this rule, I think you've already given the answer to this question anyway. So the rule is, in noun, the stress is on the first syllable. For those people who do not know what is a syllable means vowel sound. So the stress is on the first vowel sound, and in the verb, the stress is on the last vowel sound or the second vowel sound. Thank you very much. So this is very important. Now, when we say this about this workshop, what is this workshop about? Not just listen and repeat. We want to focus on suprasegmental features as well. So it is not just about segmental features. Listen to the word, repeat after me. It's also about suprasegmental features as well. Where is the stress in the word? In what context it is used? And what is the intonation, pitch, etc., etc. So all of that really matters and plays a very, very important role in our speech patterns. So this is what we looked at in today's webinar. I hope this webinar was useful for you. In this webinar, we looked at, if we look at here, please have a look. We looked at the historical context. We also looked at key principle to remember, especially when teaching especially when teaching pronunciation. It's not perfect accent. It is comprehensible understanding of the language. Then we looked at a very important pronunciation teaching. Before I tell you something about the technology, I would like to ask you if you have any questions, and I'm going to be sending you a link in the chat box related to practicing your teaching, practicing your sounds of English language. Do you have any questions related to whatever we've looked at so far in the lesson, in the webinar, please? Thank you, Akash, for this question. Is it possible to achieve suprasegmental with listen and repeat? Listen and repeat always helps, but to only focus on listen and repeat and not give context to the language, it can be detrimental. So over the years, it has been understood that when you give context to the language, for example, once you have done object and object, but giving context, like lawyers speak like this in Bollywood films, is called the giving context of the language. So listen and repeat, एक हद तक काम करेगा. उसके बाद, all you have to do is give the context of that as well for people to understand it better. I hope it answers your question. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? All right. Thank you so much. Now, I want to show you something very important. Please do have a look. This is, I think, available. This is available on a lot of other websites as well. But there's a feature on ESOL's dashboard called Accent Enhancer, which has 44 sounds of English on it. What we have to do is, our job is, the homework that I'd like to give you is, for the next 2 weeks, for a fortnight, I would like you to practice all of these sounds of English language, and especially these. These are the most important parts that I would like you to practice. If you do not, there are many teachers already who are a part of ESOL. If you're not a part of ESOL, get in touch with the counselors. I think if you take a course, you'll get the Accent Enhancer feature. So try practicing this 5 minutes a day. I repeat, 5 minutes a day. So listen to the sound. It works like this. Tap on the word, listen to the sound, and see the word in which the sound comes. Hear. So it's not, can you hear me? It is, can you hear me? Hear. Sound. Hear me. All of these symbols may look quite Chinese and incomprehensible right now, but these are 44 sounds of English language, which once mastered, you are done with the first part. And what is the first part? Segmental features. You're done with the segmental features. And when you're done with the segmental features, it's time to move ahead to suprasegmental features. So ladies and gentlemen, next time when you teach, focus on these two. Oh, lovely. That's great. Sagar saying that he used it during the CCAF course. Thank you. I would say that Sharma is asking a very good question. Aren't suprasegmental and segmental features complementary? They're most definitely complementary. But the idea is to make sure that we give context to the language as well when we are teaching the students. And as always, to all those teachers who attend all our webinars, there's a gift for you today. I'm going to send a link in the chat box for it. For those people who've stuck until the end of the webinar, thank you for being a part of this webinar. There's a sponsorship that ESOL would like to offer. The next VNA course, Voice and Accent Train the Trainer program, is starting next month. I think it's around the 15th. I'm not sure the exact date. There are 10 to 12 teachers in each batch. If you would like to be a part of it, there is a straight flat sponsorship. The fees of the course is 29,999. For anybody who after this webinar wishes to inquire and wishes to be a part of this course, for the next 24 hours, you can enroll in that course for 19,999. You'll get a straight sponsorship from ESOL for 9,999. That means you'll not have to pay 9,999. You'll only pay 19,999 for that course. Many other details related to the course, such as the duration of the course, etc., time duration, can be answered with the help of a counselor. So there's a link in the chat box that I'm sending right now. You can use this link. I hope this link is working. So you can use this link to be a part of that course. Is Montessori. Montessori is is a technique of teaching very young learners. They're not even young learners; they're toddlers. So all you do is sit in front of them, open a book, and start reading. It is said that they recognize colors and language and vocabulary, and it helps in their cognition, in the development of their cognitive abilities. So that's how it works. As this webinar culminates, I want to give a big heart and a big hug to all of you for being a part of this webinar. And I welcome you to be a part of this wonderful VNA training, which we're going to be conducting next month. And yes, you get a flat sponsorship. So if you wish to be a part, you can let the counselors know using the link in the chat box, which is valid for 24 hours. There's that. And I hope I'm not forgetting anything else. If you have any questions related to the content of the course, you can, the floor is open for the next 5 minutes. Feel free to ask, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you. You do get an ESOL certificate, which is got its own recognition. So yes. VNA training, I'm predominantly, yes, I'm not sure about my schedule, but I do conduct VNA trainings as well. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sharma. It was a pleasure. Thank you for the continuous participation, guys. Next week, we have another webinar coming. You'll receive an email soon for all the teachers who are a part of it, ESOL family. After this webinar, there's going to be a short link that you will receive. So do give me feedback. I'd love to know what you guys think. How was the webinar for you? I'd love to read your comments. It takes 1 minute, but it makes my day. So if you feel you have the time, feel free to let me know on the link. Thank you. Lots of love. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Fees of the course. Fees of the course is 29,999. If you enroll in the next 24 hours, it is 19,999. You're welcome, Ranjita. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye. Good night.